There is nothing wrong with having a level of confidence in our lives. For instance, if there's a surgeon who's going to operate on me, I hope that he knows what he's doing, and I hope he has a level of confidence that as he cuts me open, he can put me back together and fix me up. When I fly in an airplane, I want that pilot to be confident that he knows the airplane, he knows the conditions, and can fly that airplane. But on the other hand, there can be a problem with overconfidence. When my son was younger, someone gave to him a flight simulator, and he would practice that at all times. Loved to play with it and fly different airplanes into different airports. That is, when he wasn't purposely crashing airplanes. But on one occasion, he and I were flying to LaGuardia Airport in New York City. And as we were preparing to leave and getting on our flight, he looked over at me. He says, "Dad, don't worry, because if something happens to the pilot, I have practiced and I have landed this type of plane in LaGuardia. We'll be good." He was probably 10 years old. So my guess is that he had a level of overconfidence that wouldn't have turned out well if we would have actually needed a pilot. Though we laugh about that, we often in our Christian lives are overconfident in our own abilities. You see, there's nothing wrong with being confident to fly an airplane, but there's something dangerous about being confident in your own morality, being confident that you are a better believer in Jesus Christ or a better Christian than you really are. There's a dangerous problem with being overconfident in your ability to get through life and to withhold the trials and temptations on your own, because overconfidence means that you're relying on yourself and you're missing out on a special gift that's been given to us. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, Paul warns us of that. In verse 12 we read, "Therefore let anyone who thinks that he stands take heed lest he fall." Paul is talking about the sins of the people of Israel and how they so often were way too confident, and in their overconfidence they ignored God. You and I are going to face temptations and trials in our lives. We're facing a spiritual warfare. If you're trying to overcome those things on your own, if you think it's a matter of thinking, positive thinking, that'll help you overcome the spiritual struggles in your life, you are missing something. And matter of fact, as Paul says, take heed lest you fall. But Paul goes on in the following verse, and he promises this, that when we recognize our need for God, the promise is there that He will help us. God will help us. He's our grace. He's our help. He's the one that we need to place our confidence in. I'm Bob Orner, and I'd like you to think about that.